We're at St Andrew's Stadium at Knighthead Park for a special evening. It's Blues women's first league fixture under the lights here as they host a mouth-watering and potentially pivotal battle in Barclays WSL 2. Second takes on fifth as the race for promotion to the top tier really hots up. Birmingham City against Crystal Palace. It should be a great evening's fare, which should tell us a little bit more about how these two will progress in the weeks and months ahead. Palace are in town, led by manager Joe Potter, who previously played for Blues women before later returning as a coach. And a Palace win tonight would see them fly up to third in the table, just a point behind their opponents, albeit Blues would have a game in hand. Victory for the hosts would see them close the gap to table-topping Charlton to 5 points. Remember, up to 3 teams can earn promotion to the top flight come the end of this season. So as well as 3 big points on offer, there's a psychological element to today's outcome too, with a chance to steal a march on others in the race for the top tier. 2 teams chasing promotion, 2 squads pushing themselves to the limit for 90 huge minutes that could really help reshape the table. To the all-important team news then. Amy Merricks freshens up her side, making changes that she said were required from the frustrating Durham draw. 3 alterations in total. Martha Harris comes in after returning from injury as a substitute last time out. She replaces Shannon Cook in defence. Beatrice Sari and newly crowned Barclays Women's Super League 2 Player of the Month for January, Lily Crosthwaite, come in further forward. Asato Miyagawa and Ushanutre join Cook in dropping to the bench. Former Eagle Sinead Hopcroft faces her former club for the first time since her move to the Midlands. And Blues will look to their inform attacking duo of Vilma Liedhammer, who has 3 goals in her last 3 appearances, and Lotta Lindström, who has 4 in 3, including a hat-trick in Birmingham's last home game, the big win over Forest. Sari, Crosthwaite and Lindström have scored 23 goals between them in League and Cup this season. Crystal Palace are unchanged from the Bristol City victory last time out. Abby Larkin scored in that match and then limped off, but is fit to go again. Recent signing Hayley Ladd spent a couple of years here with the Blues. She's just won Palace's Goal of the Month award for her strike on debut. Last time Palace were here at St Andrews, Amy Everett scored her first goal for the club. That was some 2.5 years ago. January's Player of the Month, Molly May Sharp, starts too. She and Annabelle Blanchard were on target in the reverse fixture down south this season. Elise Hughes was the match winner against Birmingham in April last season, but she has to make do with a spot on the bench, alongside Chloe Arthur, who could feature against her former employers, and Manchester United loanee Lucy Newell, who made 4 appearances for Birmingham earlier this season. Well, it's a high-pressure clash which calls for cool heads and a positive mindset on what could be a defining night of the season. Amy Keir has the whistle, so we'll look to her for all the big calls. And when the stakes are this high, nights like these become a test of nerve as well as belief. It's an opportunity for players to be daring and decisive, and for coaches too to be bold and brave. It's about who can cut through the pressure and the noise to emerge victorious any which way. Birmingham City will look to Lily Crosthwaite, the standout Women's Super League 2 Player of the Month during January, beating Amy Everett, who's playing for Palace tonight, Jessie Gale and Sophie Ingle, both of Bristol City, to that particular award. And we're good to go. The ball will be set rolling by Hayley Ladd against her former club. She had 2 solid years here at Birmingham City, now in Palace colours. Well, Crystal Palace took Birmingham City apart 3-0 over the festive period. Molly May Sharp, Annabelle Blanchard and Sinead Hopcroft were on target for the Eagles. Hopcroft has since switched sides amid a Birmingham City squad makeover. So let's see what the 2 teams serve up for us this evening under the lights at St Andrews. A lively start from the home side. Lindström onto the ball straight away, looking for the returning Sari. The strike coming in from Holloway from a fair way out. And it all gets a little tangled up, allowing Crystal Palace to relieve the pressure slightly. Mikato trying to break free. Holloway still well forward. And the reset button pressed by Palace in a frantic first minute. Always interesting to see how sides start off in games like this, because sometimes clashes between two top sides at any level can be very cagey affairs. Sometimes they can be fast and furious from the off. Certainly the early signs here are that we could well have an enthralling encounter on our hands. Victory would be huge for either side. A draw wouldn't be the worst result. Defeat, though, would really be an unwanted bump in the road for either team. Particularly Birmingham City, after dropping points against Durham last time out, with that 98th minute equaliser for the northern side from Lucy Watson. Crystal Palace had a much more enjoyable weekend, beating Bristol City by 2-1. And that was a come-from-behind victory as well, after the early goal from Lexi Lloyd-Smith. A day on which they showed character as well as quality. Palace have a player down here and the game has to be stopped. Amy Everett tucking it back home, but there was concern as the crunching challenge went in. Straight away the referee, Amy Keir, had to step in to stop proceedings here. A bit of concern at a time when the game was really picking up pace. That midfield area tonight is going to be a really competitive part of the field. So often games at any level are won or lost right in the centre of things, with those further forward deciding the margin of victory. No surprise, incidentally, to see Crystal Palace unchanged from the weekend, and Amy Merrick's quite scathing of the performance from her side pre-match tonight, and indeed in the build-up to this game in general. Very unhappy about the fact that points were dropped against Durham. Jamie Lee Napier enjoyed her weekend. She was playing against her former club, Bristol City, helping Crystal Palace to victory. But an early awakening challenge there as she thrust into the battle. The ball will be dropped for Palace, and Ashley Reardon, who set an absolute pile driver into the Bristol City net a week or so ago. Back it goes to Adriana Franch. And Birmingham City set off again from the back. No surprise they look to Beatrice Sari. And that is offside against Lindstrom. Lindstrom, part of the squad makeover during the course of the last month or so. 21-year-old joining from London City Lionesses for the rest of the season. Really caught the eye in the top flight in Finland, where she scored 17 goals in 23 appearances. Eve Heron with the clearance. Right into that midfield battleground. Just ran away from Molly May Sharp. Holloway with the throw. And she'll go again. Hammer just beaten to the ball. And Hayley Ladd doing the job that she did so well for Birmingham City, and then of course for Manchester United as well. Just tucking into that midfield. That security blanket in front of the Crystal Palace defence. Pressure here on McKenna, who responds well. Bearden trying to find space, and unsurprisingly they're not affording her too much of that in these early moments. Certainly one of the players who can really make things happen on her day, which is why it was so surprising when Bristol City gave her the freedom of the back post in Palace's last match. And she made them pay by scoring what turned out to be the winning goal. Pumped forward looking for Blanchard, towards Howard as well. Just called up to the Scotland squad for the World Cup qualifiers upcoming against Luxembourg. Tidied up by Nolan, who was a little fortunate perhaps in some people's eyes to only be shown a yellow card last weekend rather than the red that Bristol City were screaming for. Abby Larkin patched up and ready to go again tonight after injury last time out. Hayley Ladd stepping in style to thwart that Birmingham City attack. Amy Everett here, now a Crystal Palace centurion after her 100th appearance for the club last weekend. Looking long this time, trying to get Molly May Sharp into the game. Both sides well stocked on the bench as well, incidentally, tonight, with players who can make a difference, should they be required. And that was the main thrust of the January transfer dealings from both coaches, to have that strength in depth for nights like this. Ashley Bearden trying to find a little gap to fire it across, and it was very nearly there for Palace, still might be, as Blanchard goes for goal. French happy to grab it and hold it. A really tempting, teasing ball in by Ashley Bearden. Just tried desperately to find a little way past McKenna. Got that half a yard. All it lacked was the telling touch at the end. Well, you always wonder if those defensive central midfield players, likes of Hayley Ladd, Chelsea Cornet in the Birmingham City side, could be so important to helping out the defending part of the team. That's an early warning for Birmingham City of the threat from out wide, posed by Bearden. Everett's ball forward. Mikato back to Yanez. And Everett will come out with it again. That's not going to find Ladd, though. Picked up by Birmingham City and Hopcroft, who'll be looking to cause trouble for her former teammates tonight. They know all about the threat posed by the 28-year-old signed from Crystal Palace. That looked to have gone across the line. Indeed, the flag is raised. It's a Palace throw nonetheless. Larkin just wanted to take it with her. Sharp's throw. Good bit of rough and tumble already in these early stages. Rebecca Holloway not messing about, seeing that one away. Sharp gets it back from Blanchard. Nolan for Everett. Sharp. Nicely tucked in by Howard. Larkin wants a corner. She's going to get one too. Off the retreating Holloway. You can see why Joe Potter was desperate to have Larkin fit and raring to go for tonight. Already seeing plenty of the ball. Ashley Viren's corner. A swing and a miss, really, and then that could have gone horribly wrong from Birmingham City's point of view. A sliced clearance that was looping and dipping. But thankfully for those in blue, and indeed in green, just dipping on top of the net, not into the back of it. Bearden's corner. Swung towards those who'd stepped forward from the back largely. Annabelle Blanchard unhappy with a bit of contact in the middle. Sent up and over by Amy Everett. Such a big day for her last weekend with her 100th game for the club. To mark it with a victory was ever so special, she said. Coming back to a place where she scored her first Palace goal as well. She'd love to continue the feel-good factor tonight. Pietra Kisari stepping away from a few challenges, looking for support here from Chelsea Cornet. Forward from McKenna, not quite into the stride of Leidhammer. Bearden dispossessed though. Cornet goes again. Holloway tempted forward. Struck an arm, but it was never going to be a handball from that close range. The arms of Molly May Sharp firmly tucked into the body. Hopcroft poking it through, looking for Lindstrom. You can hear the demands from both technical areas. Messrs Potter and Merricks barking out the instructions for their side. Lindstrom can't quite reel that in. Palace start again. Nearly a quarter of an hour played. Hugely competitive. Amy Everett taking a bit of a chance, but finding a way out. Not quite the pass into the path of Sharp. Mikato losing out. Pietra Kisari on the charge. Hopcroft. Sharp manages to tuck herself back in defensively to clear for Larkin. Holloway just a little stronger there. Leidhammer stopped in her tracks by Hayley Ladd. Blanchard. Virden. Going one way, then the other. Trying to get past McKenna. It was a lovely ball over. Well dealt with on the stretch by Martha Harris. Back in from the start tonight, having returned from injury as a substitute last time out. Former Manchester United defender. Working hard to make sure nothing untoward happened. She's played just under half an hour in the draw at Durham. McKenna's throw. No panic from Everett. Away by Yanez. Napier and Ladd in each other's way. Hopcroft. No time to juggle with Blanchard around. Rebecca McKenna having to search for the ball. Corner. Moves it on. Backwards to go forwards. Sari always hovers in space, ready for the ball to come to her to do her thing. Picks it up from Hopcroft. Sari again, Hopcroft again. Decided to spread it wide for McKenna. Picked up by Crosthwaite. We've not seen too much of her so far. Here she goes though. Crosthwaite trying to make things happen. Thundered into the body of Napier. Picked up again by Sari. Birmingham City looking to keep the pressure on here. Everett having to juggle it away. There's calls of hands. And the real pressure from McKenna. Sari happy to pick the pocket. Lindstrom couldn't get the shot away. Crystal Palace looking nervous here as Birmingham City pile the pressure on, but it's the strike from Sari in the end that just dribbles wide. First real sustained final third pressure from Birmingham City. Seeing a little bit more from Crosthwaite, from Lindstrom, from Sari in particular. Rebecca McKenna making sure that there was nowhere for Amy Everett to go. Sharp happy to settle for the throw. Such a versatile player. One of those who's a manager's dream in terms of the different positions she can play, either at the back, in the middle, or up front. Waiting for the ball here from Blanchard, who decides to go on her own. Larkin on the turn. Nicely worked by Cornet to get away, only as far as Mikato. Everett with Lindstrom in hot pursuit. Now Nolan. Sharp. Hoping that Larkin could make that run in behind Birmingham City. She was so good at doing that last weekend, which led to her goal. Indeed, Kirsty Howard and Larkin working well together in that regard. That's out of play. Sharp to throw. Larkin was trying to look disinterested so that she wasn't picked up. Vierden just looks to lever McKenna off the ball. Crosthwaite back to help out defensively, and it worked in McKenna's favour, who was then fouled. It's already shaping up to be a key battle, that, between McKenna and Verdon. Clearly Amy Merricks has been telling Lily Crosthwaite to tuck in and help McKenna out. Lindstrom nicely linking up with Sari. Leidhammer gliding past the challenges, managing to get a strike away, not one that would really upset Sheyanez, who watched it all the way into the gloves, but a signal of intent from Birmingham City again. Howard. Nicely tidied up. Leidhammer tried to find a way past Everett. Crosthwaite just showed a bit too much of that to Sharp. Just for a moment you wondered where that was heading. Sheyanez eagle-eyed to make sure it didn't squirm into the back of the net. Certainly Crystal Palace livelier in the early stages, but as we reach the midway point of the first half, Birmingham City are getting stronger. Leidhammer showing her strength and eye for goal. Blanchard sent sprawling, so Palace have a free kick. Blanchard again towards Verdon. Nolan. Forward by Ladd. Collected by Blanchard. Offside is called against Palace there. Harris with the deflected clearance. Another Birmingham City ball. Out off Hayley Ladd. Well, Joe Potter was thrilled with the result last weekend against Bristol City after the disappointment of the 3-1 defeat at Southampton's St Mary's Stadium. The response was demanded by the Eagles' boss, and indeed it was forthcoming from her players. Birmingham City in a similar sort of situation, having dropped points at the weekend, looking to bite back today. Everybody, of course, trying to catch Charlton Athletic, who are the runaway leaders as it stands in Barclays Women's Super League 2. 8 points clear at the top ahead of kick-off in this one. Larkin. Someone who can travel with the ball so well to turn defence into attack. Sharp with no real force behind the cross. Everett always just tucking in there as the central centre-half in case of any problems for the other two in the trio, Napier and Nolan. Veerden not on the same page as Howitt. Neve Heron bringing it out, trying to get Birmingham City forward thinking again. Certainly both coaches in the technical area so far trying to keep that intensity up in the play from their respective teams. So easy to approach a game like this as a player looking to not make too many errors. Footballing bravery required on a night like this, which is much easier further up the pitch than it is at the back. Hayley Ladd. Nolan. Happy to take the game to Lindstrom. And Sharp trying to find Larkin, who isn't that pleased with the distribution from her teammate. Sharp's ball back for Everett. Larkin saw the run of Sharp, found her really effectively. Crystal Palace are in here, and they've scored! Annabelle Blanchard. Well, she made no mistake with the finish, but the approach play was delightful. The vision and touch from Larkin, key to the breakthrough. How big could that goal be? Lovely little deft header. Sharp charged forth, and Blanchard was there to make no mistake. So much potential for goals in this game, and half an hour in we have one, and it's Crystal Palace's. Well, a fourth WSL goal of the season for Annabelle Blanchard. Such a lovely header, super movement from Sharp, and it was right there into the stride of Blanchard. Beautifully done from the visitors, so what of the response from the hosts? Sari. Trying to tiptoe her way through towards goal. Mikato watching her all the way, getting an all-important block. Well won back by Palace here, who are in the mood. Napier it was who was trying to help it forward. Everett thought she had the ball. She certainly dangled the leg, hoping to whip it away from Leidhammer. A tricky Sari standing over the ball. She'll be so frustrated that the Palace goal came from her side of the field. Molly May Sharp, who was close to her. Fired in from Sari. Oh, where's that going to drop? Leidhammer's there. Well, I tell you what, the offside flag went up there, and the initial header was a Crystal Palace one. Question is, was Leidhammer offside when the kick went into the box? Either way, she fluffed her lines. She missed the chance to fire that one home. Well, had that nestled in the back of the net, there might well have been a big discussion had on field. Ultimately, though, the ball wasn't struck properly, so it all ends up being rather irrelevant. Well, the last time that Birmingham City's women's side lost a game, it was against Crystal Palace in early December. That 3-0 win for the Eagles down south. Since then, Birmingham City have beaten and drawn with Durham. Put 6 past Hull City in the FA Cup, 4 past Portsmouth in the league, and 5 past Nottingham Forest. Blanchard with 2 to try and beat. She's managed to keep it somehow and prodded it on towards Howard, who couldn't quite get there. Jamie Lee Napier having to be careful with the bouncing ball here. And she was more than careful initially, but Leidhammer picks up the pieces. Crossthwaite just clicked the heels, did she? That's the verdict on field. One of those moments when you can just imagine a coach saying in their heads, don't foul, and then she fouled. Certainly it was contact that Jamie Lee Napier was more than happy to have. Harris with a header. Leidhammer's touch. Crossthwaite, who's not had a real charge with the ball as yet. Seen more from Sari, more from Leidhammer, who's coming into the game more and more. Hopcroft firing it to Sari, who thought Holloway was further forward than she actually was. Nicely won back by Hopcroft, and then Howard with a grab on Niamh Heron. Beatrice Kisari will take. Ashley Veerden is stepping forward away from the vanishing spray here. She bought a few yards there, and I think the kick is going to have to be retaken. There's no point in vanishing spray if people ignore it. So, as you were. in from Sarri. Helped on by Harris, and it's offside. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half. Yanez to clear. Up and out off Crosthwaite. Napier to take. Veered. Harris away. Crystal Palace back to square one with Amy Everett. Nolan here. Collected by Sharp. Mostly controlled by Larkin. Sharp and Howitt, the runners. Sarri had it but lost it. Everett moves it on to Napier. McKenna wins out. Down goes Leidhammer. Unhappy at the close attention from Hayley Ladd, who will get a talking to. I think no more than that. It was a grab, a relatively subtle one. Bounces off Hopcroft, who works hard to get it back. Holloway. Lindstrom out off Nolan. Leidhammer. Blanchard leads the counter. Palace have a player down here as the ball is through towards France. Kirsty Howard it was who felt she was caught off the ball. Crosthwaite. Being watched closely by Napier. Managing to get past three Palace players though. And here's Viachiki Sarri, who slipped at the vital moment. Once again the flag raised against those in blue. A promising passage of play nonetheless. Lily Crosthwaite, first time she's really taken the game to Crystal Palace. Looking for the run, which was made by Sarri. Legs just went from underneath her. Well, Heron's header, and she instantly hit the deck there. Well, she came charging out of the back line there with some force. No risk taken with head injuries, of course, these days. She's going to have to step out of the line of fire for 30 seconds or so. Joe Potter screaming for Hayley Ladd to go and get the ball. Instead, it's Jamie Lee Napier who picks it up. Ashley Verdon. Palace trying to make the most of having an extra player on the field here for the time being. Nicely done by Napier. Verdon up against McKenna. Howitt. Ladd. Sidestepping away from Hopcroft. Verdon with plenty behind that, and it's in for number 2. Birmingham City momentarily down to 10, and Crystal Palace made the most of it. Abby Larkin it was, who popped up to find the net. And just on the cusp of half-time, Crystal Palace's lead is doubled. No surprise it was Verdon who fired it into the Birmingham City box. And Larkin was there to apply the telling touch. And Crystal Palace are loving life at St Andrews under the lights. Well, Birmingham City could really do with something before the break. There isn't long before that whistle, but here they go. Was that a shove? Well, they're asking the question, but they're not getting the answer that they want. Rebecca McKenna, it was who tumbled. Amy Everett was there. There wasn't really much in that. Officials often talk about contact with consequence when they are working out whether a penalty kick should be given. Didn't seem to be too much consequence in that, as we start 4 added minutes as a minimum. Out off the boot of Holloway. You can just tell looking down here that Joe Potter is absolutely buzzing with where her side are in these opening 45.5 minutes. The effort put in and the goals that they've managed to get for their hard work. Crosthwaite winning the throw. Looking for Hopcroft. Away by Harris. Cornet up in the air. Mikato taking charge. Looking to set Veerden away, but asking too much even of her. Well, that's a 7th WSL 2 goal for Abby Larkin this season. Birmingham City throw. Time running out for those in blue in this first half. Corner. And again. Heron. Sari. Trying to skip past Sharp. Manages to do so. There were so many blue shirts in the middle, but no one really took charge of the situation. Harris caught on the ball by Howard, who can't scamper after it quickly enough. Back it goes to Everett, and all the way back to Yanez. They start again with Nolan. Everett once again. Sari's header. Leidhammer for Hopcroft. Cornet on towards Sari. Breaks for Larkin though. And Hopcroft sees it out. We've had the 4 minutes. Sharp's throw. Heron's touch is the final one of a first half that has been fascinating. It has been tight, it has been tense. And at the break for Birmingham City, it's a bit torturous because Crystal Palace have the lead. 2-0. They are in front. Annabelle Blanchard pouncing for the first after some really good approach play by Abby Larkin and Molly May Sharp. And then Larkin popping up for the second from an Ashley Veerden cross. Amy Merricks and Birmingham City have a lot to ponder during the half-time break. Joe Potter and Palace will be delighted. At the break, at St Andrews, Birmingham City 0, Crystal Palace 2. We're going to see Ocean who is going to come on. And I'm hearing that it's Beatriki Sari who is going to be replaced. Had some promising moments going forward in the first half. But Birmingham City now turning to the bench to try and turn the game around. So Amy Merricks, the first coach to look over her shoulder and make a change. So we're good to go in the second half, and it will be Birmingham City to get us going. Lotte Lindström over the ball. Birmingham City start us, and Birmingham City have a fair bit to do at the start of this second half. Crystal Palace absolutely thrilled with the way the first 45 minutes panned out. Those in blue less so, hence the change at the break. Beatrice Sari has been replaced by Auchan-Letre, straight on into the action. Let's see how that changes things, and indeed if Birmingham City can change things here. Because as it stands, Crystal Palace are tightening things up at the WSL 2 summit. If it stays this way, it will be a missed opportunity for Birmingham City in terms of closing the gap on Charlton Athletic. And Palace will go to within a point of the Blues, albeit Amy Merrick's side with a game in hand still after tonight. There have been a fair few postponements so far this season. Indeed, Sunderland in 8th place have 3 games in hand on some teams above them. And indeed Portsmouth, who are below them at the foot of the table. Heron stepping in. And out it goes. It'll be a Palace ball. Sharp's throw, and she has it back, and then will gather the ball in for another one. Although she's told to stop stealing yards by the referee. Howitt looking for Larkin. And the ball is out off her via the nice touch from Rebecca Holloway. Of course, the reverse fixture was won by 3 goals to nil by Crystal Palace, who are already 2 goals to nil up here. Pressure on Birmingham City to get themselves on the board. Certainly got the players on the field to hurt Palace. Although Beatrice Sari, their top WSL 2 scorer, no longer on the field. Ote's ball forwards. Oh, that fall away of McKenna. Trying to get in behind Crystal Palace here. Cornet met by Napier. Lovely bit of skill to find room and find McKenna! And it was bobbling away from Lindström, who couldn't find the angle or the touch to get Birmingham City on the board. You just wondered if it might break for McKenna here, first of all. And then eventually, after great work from the skipper, it well and truly did. Would have been quite the assist from Chelsea Cornet had it found the corner from McKenna. Or can be effective defensively, Rebecca McKenna, or further forward. Such a big part of the plan for her club and for her country as well over recent years. Lindström. There's a tenacity to Birmingham City here at the start of this second half. They'll see that roll out for a corner. Ote's ball in towards Heron, who has a swing at it. Right old up and under there, and then she tries to help it goalwards. Not the most polished corner routine you'll ever see, but nearly worked out in Birmingham City's favour. Lovely bit of skill to keep it alive for those in blue. Start again here with Martha Harris. McKenna stretching away from Everett. Does well to pull it back. It was towards Lindstrom, who couldn't quite sort her feet out. Chelsea Cornet's shot was blocked. Now the break. Howitt looking up to find Veerden maybe, or Blanchard, who looks in turn for Ashley Veerden. Howitt again, Veerden again, this time is flagged offside. This is the luxury Crystal Palace have now, though. They can defend and then hit on the break. From a Birmingham City corner, of course, here. Niamh Heron with a right old swing at the ball. Lindstrom, offside. Both sides have been guilty of going just that little bit too early, wasting promising attacks. Amy Merrick's very unhappy at the amount of time being taken here by Crystal Palace. There's lots of time left in the game, of course, but it's the intensity that Birmingham City want to keep up here, not just the seconds ticking away that's frustrating them. McKenna's header kept in by Crosthwaite. It's no mean feat to be named WSL2 Player of the Month, beating Amy Everett, who had a really good month at the heart of the Crystal Palace defence, and also the duet of Jessie Gale, lively up top for Bristol City, Sophie Ingle, who's been key to their midfield plans as well. Two balls on the pitch for a moment. Cornet put plenty behind that. Lindstrom trying to tee it up for someone in blue. Palace breakaway led by Blanchard, who loses out to Heron, who goes for it! Tell you what, there were a fair few who were concerned in Crystal Palace colours there. It was struck really nicely and it was dipping. She put plenty behind it. She and her side so frustrated that she wasn't on the field when the second Palace goal was scored. That's the protocol, of course, that referees follow. Head injury. Player has to leave the field. Heron. Nice touch to find Martha Harris. Napier under a little bit of pressure. That'll just about get back home. We've got two really good footballing sides here now for this level. We've also got two sides who are willing to and having to battle. Sets up the final half an hour or so really nicely from a neutral's point of view. Ashley Veerden. Blanchard. Found the space and then found the stand. More than capable from there, of course. She's been really good down through the years. Actually began her career at Liverpool, age 16. Played in the England youth ranks. Caught the eye at Leicester City and particularly at Blackburn Rovers. And scored Palace's first ever WSL goals, that brace against Leicester City, October of 2024. In a short-lived tenure in WSL, of course, for Crystal Palace, relegated at the end of that season. Hence their involvement here. Larkin just tripped. Away by Holloway. Approaching that hour mark when we often see changes in personnel. And often changes in tactics too. Palace pressing again here with Sharp. Blanchard. Up and away via the boot of Harris. Veerden. Nolan had to speed up a little there. Crystal Palace taking no chances here. It's early in the game to use the phrase game management, but it's certainly in the minds of Palace here. Nothing silly, keep the ball. Of course, just as you say that, Birmingham City break with it. Very close to finding the feet of Leidhammer. Larkin. Just wonder whether she'll finish the game tonight, Abby Larkin, not just from a tactical point of view, maybe if it stays this way, but also the injury picked up at the weekend, a heavy strapping on the knee as a result of that. Proving so effective on the field though tonight. For the visiting side, still 2 to the good as the 60-minute mark approaches. Harris. McKenna will give chase. Did well to keep it in, but she did no more than that. Or did she? Well, a corner's given. Well, it would be interesting to zoom in on that and see who got the final touch. Tray with the corner. Trying to tuck it into that 6-yard box. Bodies tumbling everywhere. Forward by Veerden for Larkin. McKenna back on duty. Well, there would have been a moment of controversy had that corner led to a goal, because it clearly didn't get a touch off Ashley Veerden. But in any case, nothing came of the set play. Howard in with McKenna, and Howard wants the throw, and she's got it as well. What do you do now if you are Amy Merricks or Joe Potter. What's the game plan from here? What's the plan B? Tactically, we're starting to see things develop for Birmingham City, but it's goals they need now. Heron had it and let it slip, but Birmingham City clear. Verdon. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Really clever pass in towards Howard, and the danger was read really well. That could have been a pass that really undid Birmingham City. Defensively, though, Holloway saw it coming and dealt with it. Crossthwaite. Mikato juggling it away. Just a few moments ago, this just underlining how dangerous Ashley Verdon can be. The angle on the pass was super. Howard just couldn't quite take it with her. Really well watched by Rebecca Holloway. Birmingham City starting to get frustrated about the time it is taking Palace to restart the game. We're going to have 2 Palace changes here. It's the end for Molly May Sharp, and indeed for Kirsty Howard as well. We're going to see Alison Swaby and Elise Hughes. Swaby recently back from injury. She will line up at the back. Elise Hughes, the match winner against Birmingham City in April of last season. On she comes now. Lindstrom. Still going and trying to bend one, just wouldn't bend enough. Plenty behind it. She's a lively customer who really makes things happen. 4 goals in her last 3 games, including that hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. And what was a huge win, not just numerically, but psychologically. Hopcroft. Forward by Holloway. Mikato in the mix in midfield. How will those changes affect Birmingham City, I wonder? How will the changes affect Crystal Palace? 25 minutes remain in what is a huge matchup at this level. If it stays this way come full time, there'll be just a point between these two. Birmingham City with a fair few efforts in the match, but without any reward. 3 on target for Palace, and 2 of them have really counted. And in possessional terms, it is pretty much even. Veerden, with a little trip on McKenna. She'll be fortunate in some ways to get away without a card, albeit she hasn't committed many fouls in the game thus far. McKenna working tirelessly going forward now, coming up against Swaby. Palace deal with the throw. Oh, and indeed it was a foul throw. Well, at any level, that's ridiculous, to be honest. A waste of momentum. Lindstrom. Palace away. Pumped forward for Birmingham City. Yanez deciding to punch. Veerden can't clear it. It'll come back at Palace here through Crosthwaite. Veerden has to switch on defensively. Helped out by Blanchard. And Yanez happy to run the clock down. Mikato. Not quite into the path of Napier. Just had to have that little bit more on it. Needed a bit more commitment to the pass. 3/4 of the way through the match. And it is Crystal Palace's game. The onus on Birmingham City here to make things happen. Crosthwaite. Stepping away from Veerden. Nicely done from her. Space for the strike. Watched all the way into the gloves. Heron's header. Blanchard had a pull there on Hopcroft. Otway again to corner. Oh, Leidhammer with the swivel. And she stayed down here. Crystal Palace carry on with Hughes. Into the path of Larkin. Corner. Lotta Lindstrom after this one. Crosthwaite in the middle. Leidhammer as well. Otway's ball in. Crystal Palace are repelling everything that Birmingham City are throwing at them at the moment, and the offside flag stops another attack. Well, they need to get Crosthwaite into these kind of positions if they're going to really hurt Crystal Palace. Chelsea Cornet with the hit, which was a simple one for a goalkeeper of the quality of Shea Yanez, who's gone down with an injury here, it would seem. A lot of debate, of course, these days about when a goalkeeper has an injury, particularly at a midway point and a half pretty much, but for now she will get the attention she's asked for and may well need, and the two sides will use the time in the best possible way they can. Certainly there needs to be a fair bit of urgency from Birmingham City now. They've had those eye-catching scorelines, the 5-1 home victory over Nottingham Forest, the emphatic 4-0 away win at Portsmouth. But this is a huge night for both teams, and at the moment it's going the way of the Eagles. Amy Merricks has talked a lot about the team being important, not the individuals, the experience, the character, the ability in the squad. It's a group she has ultimate faith in, she says. A unit of players that is very hungry, and a club that has made a lot of progress which people don't always see. The growth of the backroom staff, the growth of the club, trying to get WSL ready. But at the moment, Crystal Palace are reeling them in the table. Let's not forget that Birmingham City, if it stays this way, would still finish the night second. They'd still have a game in hand on Palace. But it's the side from London who are the happier with 18 minutes plus added time to go. Lighthammer forwards. Everett will win the race to the ball, but Crosthwaite's stolen it back. Everett made sure she had the last say. Trey's ball in. Well defended by Jamie Lee Napier. Hopcroft's touch, and again. Palace are doing a very good job here of keeping Birmingham City at arm's length. Heron, plenty of height on that. Shouts from a Palace persuasion of hands against Slidhammer, but on we go. Holloway swinging it over again. Bearden and McKenna, which has been a captivating watch all night. In from Heron, and it just bounced up for Lighthammer. And Palace will hope it bounces all the way. They're putting the ball into the right kind of areas, but they're just not producing the quality to really pen Crystal Palace back. Elise Hughes. Blanchard trying to take it off Hopcroft. So close to back-to-back huge wins, Crystal Palace. Bristol City were above them when they went there just over a week ago, and they won. Birmingham City above them as they came here, and they are winning. Would be a huge double victory if it stays this way. Larkin. Hopcroft managing in the end to stop her. Veerden doing well to win it back. Good old physical battle down there from both sides. Hertre. Pinging it forward for McKenna, who's getting into some great positions. Veerden's having to track her all the time, and he's doing a very good job of that. This is Swaby, just away from the outstretched leg of Blanchard. Lindstrom. Palace wanted an offside flag. It wasn't forthcoming, and it's Crosthwaite, who can't find a route through to goal. Here she goes again. Hertre, plenty on that. It's another one that's straight at the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, though. Birmingham have had a few from range that haven't really troubled it. And she's made sure she's held on. Hughes. Blanchard. Tried to reverse it to Larkin. This last quarter of an hour or so, when you put the added time into the mix, looks like it's going to open up a treat. Birmingham City have to throw everything forward really now. Harris with a header, on from Hopcroft. Tidied up by Cornet. Crosthwaite. Hertre's ball over. Lindstrom's there, but so is Yanez. You can't really fault her handling tonight. Hasn't been overly extended, but has been commanding, authoritative and accurate. Justine van Havermaet is preparing herself to come on for Palace, to bring with her a lot of experience, of course, a fair bit of ability and that physical presence as well to help Palace see the game out. Napier making sure the ball is hers. Away by Nolan. A little loose from Blanchard. Cornet. Instantly won back by Palace. And a clever pass from Hughes. And that sets Veerden away. Larkin calling for it. Hughes is there and scores! And that's the game for Crystal Palace. 3-0 winners at home against Birmingham City, and 3-0 ahead away at Birmingham City. What a night for them. Ashley Veerden again involved, and Hughes was calm and picked her spot to make sure of the points. She's had her moments against Birmingham City in the past, and Crystal Palace are having the night of nights in the Midlands. And Justine van Havermaet was ready to come on at 2-0. More than happy to come on now at 3-0. Annabelle Blanchard is the one to make way. Hopcroft, Crosthwaite. Bearden sticking tightly to her. Corner. Hopcroft makes the darting run. And Yanez once again there when it matters for Palace. Forward by Harris. Crystal Palace have done that very well tonight. They've just pestered Birmingham City when they've had the ball. Starved them of time and room. Leidhammer. Well, it's just not going to be their night, it would seem. So dangerous from there and closer in, but not on that occasion. Well, Birmingham City with more than twice as many efforts, but Crystal Palace with the goals, and that's what counts. 4 efforts on target each, and 3 of those from Palace have ended up in the back of the net. Bearden searching again for Larkin. She has just kept on working and working. We're going to see a triple Birmingham City change here now. It's now or never really, isn't it? Velma Leidhammer is the first of those to go. Lee Gu-min comes on. They can be so influential on her day. Sato Miyagawa. Bachiba Louis, the third player to come on. They have to absolutely go for it now, but surely this is beyond even their goal-scoring means. Strong defending from Harris. Here's Heron. Crosthwaite couldn't take it with her. Van Havermaet spinning into a challenge. Miyagawa. Forward for Crosthwaite. Heron's ball in. Her tray couldn't quite grow enough to keep it interesting. Oh, what a result this would be for Crystal Palace. Especially coming off the back of such a big win against Bristol City. Psychologically, it's been a huge couple of weeks. Bachibalui working it nicely, but getting no change out of Amy Everett. Mikato away. And again. Just trying to turn Birmingham City here, and Hughes will give chase with Harris. Forward by Heron, that was met by Yanez, who had to be on the money with McKenna bearing down on her. Great feat to keep it from Bachibalui. Albeit Palace keeping her firmly away from goal. Crossthwaite shown the door by Swaby. Lee Min, and Crossthwaite again, tucking in behind, and in it goes. A Birmingham City lifeline, quite possibly a Birmingham City consolation. Oceanetre was there to slide it in. Crystal Palace waiting for a foul to be given. A challenge here on Swaby. The officials were happy, and Birmingham City were happy to make it count. On a night when they've really failed to make clear-cut chances, one is taken by one of their substitutes. Mikato, charging run, and a really strong last-ditch challenge from Niamh Heron. In the final minute of the 90. There'll be a fair few minutes added on, by the way. Abby Larkin's corner. Trying to tease that one in. There are plenty in there. Van Havermaet had a swing, might have struck an arm on the way. Swaby. Oh, she thought that was a dive, certainly no foul given. Or was it? Perhaps it was indeed. We're going to play at least 6 more minutes, by the way. Resha Littlejohn being readied by Crystal Palace. Lola Brown as well. Birmingham City feel that there's plenty of time for them to get back on terms. So Palace will make the changes here to try and take the wind out of their sails. Abby Larkin and Hayley Ladd will leave the field. And understandably, they're not rushing. Amy Everett to take. Lola Brown. Well, it would have been quite the introduction, wouldn't it? Straight on the field, straight onto the score sheet. Not a strike she'll remember with any great fondness in the end. Little drop of the shoulder gave her the space, but then it all went a little awry. Palace again on the charge. It's Brown. Well, she's only been on about a minute and a half and had 2 presentable openings. McKenna thwarted by Everett. It's a lovely ball through. Just didn't have the power on the left foot. Alison Swaby in some distress here. Now she's an experienced campaigner, and the reaction from her would suggest that this is not pleasant, potentially. She seems to be in a fair bit of discomfort. She suffered injury late on against Arsenal in the Subway Women's League Cup in December. Only returned last Sunday against Bristol City. As Martha Harris makes way for Lucy Quinn. Lucy Quinn, a scorer against Palace in the past. Well, the plan for Alison Swaby was after this game to join up with Jamaica ahead of their CONCACAF qualifying group stage game against Nicaragua. And if they are successful in their qualifying campaign, then Swaby and Jamaica would go for a 3rd consecutive FIFA Women's World Cup next year in Brazil. Doesn't look like she's going to be able to carry on here. Well, she's not the kind of player to go down and stay down like that in pain. A real defensive warrior at times. It's a cross that spins away. We'll have added time due to the treatment that she received. Of course, the issue here is that Crystal Palace have used all 5 permitted substitutions. Swaby, of course, being one of those substitutions. So if she doesn't go back on, they're down to 10 for the time that remains. So she is just going to have to try and get through it. We're in the final of the added 6 minutes, but I would have thought there'll be a couple more. 2 or 3. Crossthwaite. Quinn with a bit of space. Couldn't get it past Swaby. Lee Gunmin. Birmingham City will keep going to the end. Crossthwaite. Helping it on towards Holloway. Hertrey with the ball in. Swaby found something to help it away. Heron. Hertrey. Miyakawa. Palace just trying to keep the ball away from their penalty area here. Bachiba Louis with the fresh legs. Oh, where's that going? Too high for everyone. And Veerden wins the race to the ball. Looking to set Hughes away. Van Havermaet now. Striding forward. Told to take it to the corner by Joe Potter. Lola Brown will happily receive it. Van Havermaet's happy to keep it. Which perhaps wasn't the right decision. Crossthwaite. Punched forward by Hertrey to Quinn. Cornet. Swinging it over. Once again, it's not going to go Birmingham City's way. Into the 99th minute. And that will be Yanez's ball. And that will be that for Birmingham City tonight. Still we play. Swaby away. Out off McKenna. And that's that. Back-to-back big wins for Crystal Palace. The Eagles have thrown their hat firmly into the ring for WSL 2 promotion. This was always going to be a huge matchup in the women's second tier, and it's Crystal Palace who emerge with smiles on faces. 2 goals scored in the first half proved telling. 1 apiece scored in the second half as Birmingham City tried to rally. But Palace have now beaten the Blues home and away this season. And you just wonder how big that double victory could be come the season's end. A huge night for Joe Potter, returning to the club where she was a player and a coach. And she leaves with 3 points in the back pocket. Final score at St Andrews: Birmingham City 1, Crystal Palace 3. So Crystal Palace with the 3 goals and the 3 points on a night on which there were plenty of efforts from both sides. Birmingham City with 19 shots, but in truth, not too many of them really concerned Shea Yanez in the Crystal Palace goal. Palace made their efforts on target count and just had that little bit more threat in the final third. Birmingham City will be so frustrated that a lot of promising approach play in the middle of the park didn't gain any reward. And it means now that Palace just tuck themselves in behind Birmingham City, just behind the Blues by a point. Well, a very satisfactory night from a Palace point of view. And when we have a look at the other results from the weekend, Charlton Athletic keeping up their terrific pace at the top, beating Durham by 4 goals to 2. Southampton inflicting more pain on Bristol City after they lost to Palace in their previous game, of course. Games at Ipswich and Sunderland postponed, and Newcastle United with a 2-goal victory over Portsmouth, keeping them very much in the promotion hunt. It means that the league table looks like this. Charlton at the top with an 8-point lead over Birmingham City. Palace just in behind the Blues, albeit Birmingham City with a game in hand and a much better goal difference. Bristol City dropping to 4th after back-to-back defeats, and Newcastle United in 5th. Down at the bottom, Portsmouth and Ipswich level on points. Sheffield United, Durham and Sunderland just a few further up the table. Well, if you're a footballing neutral, then it was the kind of game that brought a real competitive spirit. And at times, defences were frustrating the attacking players. Crystal Palace, though, with some moves into the Birmingham box in the early moments in the game, which caused some problems. Ashley Veerden at the heart of everything good that the Eagles produced. Annabelle Blanchard as well, who eventually got a name on the score sheet. And it came from this move. It seemed a pretty hopeful ball forward by Hayley Nolan, turned into a lovely move by Abby Larkin, and the vision from Sharp and the finish from Blanchard set Crystal Palace going. Felt like a night on which the first goal was going to be key, and it was scored by the visitors. That little deft header, so important. Not just in that move, but in the game as a whole. Birmingham City had their moments. They might not leave with any points tonight, but they did have some moments in the game when things might have been different on another occasion. Beatrice Isari, who was substituted at half-time, going close there, albeit the offside flag was raised, so it wouldn't have counted in any case. There were high hopes for the likes of Sari and Crosthwaite and Lindstrom tonight, Leidhammer as well for Birmingham City, but it was Palace who came to the fore. And this goal just before the break was so important to giving the Eagles the 2-goal cushion. Abby Larkin scoring against Bristol City last time out with her feet, applying the finishing touch with her head on that occasion, giving Crystal Palace that cushion at the break. Really tempting ball over by Veerden. Second half, Birmingham City pressed. And actually one of the key factors in their success going forward in the second half was McKenna pushing forward into a more attacking role. Chile found the net here herself after really good work from captain Chelsea Cornet. Just wouldn't quite arrow into the corner, and those charging in on it in blue couldn't get the telling touch. And of course, with a 2-goal cushion, Palace were always going to be dangerous on the break. Ashley Veerden again, a couple of lovely passes. She found Elise Hughes, and that really was the game. Because even though Birmingham City scored, they were always going to struggle to score another 2 without Palace having more joy. Veerden setting 2 goals up on the night. And Birmingham City did finally get the ball in the back of the net, albeit Palace thought they should have had a free kick there for the challenge on Swaby. Lee Gun-min to Crosthwaite, and all the way across for half-time substitute Ocean Eutre, who had the simplest of touches to find the net. And at that point you wondered maybe Birmingham City might have enough time to kick on, but the real rallying from those in blue never really happened with any sustained attacking quality. So it was always going to be a big clash, it was always going to be a telling outcome, and Crystal Palace have come to the Midlands and left with all 3 points. They have done the double over Birmingham City. It will be fascinating to see how the league table ends up come the end of this campaign. They're delighted with their performance tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll see you